No, man, I don't want to be quiet. I know we're going live. I want to jack it up.
Thank you. Thank you for jacking it up, you jerk. What is up, everybody? This is Proper here, and today I could not be happier about this. This Cobra Kai Season 2 delivering exactly what you would want. And if I had any doubt in my mind of the capabilities of these writers, it's all gone now. I totally trust them because after Season 1, it was just kind of like, well, did they just get lucky or something? But now, clearly, after this season, after watching it all last night, I have a lot more trust in what they have planned for the future, because clearly they have a plan. And speaking of which, I just want to thank everybody who's coming here right now. And I would like to introduce the panel real quick. Here we have Kay. He's also known as Thug Life Jeremy, and his avatar is very well suited for this live stream. Kay, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Kay. I am the English diversity to this panel, and I'm here to strike first, strike hard, with no mercy.
Oh!
Speaking of a karate master, we have Lee in the chat, who actually is a black belt. Lee, I think this is your first time on the channel. Welcome.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for everyone, but this is going to be the longest plug ever. It is the most groundbreaking, earth-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in YouTube entertainment today, Lee Cole IV.
Wow.
And actually, I am a first-degree black belt, so I'm beyond a black belt. They call us first dan.
Oh, dude, nice. So it's basically like a double black belt then.
Oh. Yeah, and there's more paperwork.
Oh, really? Like in order to officially get it?
I had to break 2 bricks.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Did you break them while they were on fire by any chance?
Well, now we know that it's kind of realistic then. And speaking of just absolute mayhem, we have Mary Mayhem here. She just had a stream not too long ago. In fact, probably like 5 minutes before. That was pretty awesome. Go check that out after this. And Mary, this is the first time I've had you on as you, not voluptuous Jeremy, right?
Is it? Are you sure? I could have sworn there have been a few times where I've wrecked your stream essentially as myself. Just like...
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Well, anyways, welcome.
You're always so sweet to come over on my channel. Okay, hold on. I got my opening too. You ready? Okay, I'm going to beat Lee here. You ready? Well, hi, guys. I am Mary B., the bringer of mayhem, the disruptor of the narrative, and the official women card holder. So thank you so much for having me on, Proper Jeremy. Oh, my God. Cobra Kai never dies.
You're really going to say that when I'm a woman? When I'm going through transition? Am I not a real woman?
You're not a real woman.
How dare you?
You're not.
How dare you? Anyways, I'm going to take a quick moment to say hello to the chat. It's your boy Juan. What's up, man? Random Nerd of Doom. I've seen you around. You're pretty awesome. The DJ D show is here. Soy-based Jeremy. Miss is here rating this chat. Pop Culture PB. What was taking so long? Mary just got off a stream. How could you be so rude?
I came over straight away. I'm so sorry. It's just like a woman to make you guys wait, huh?
Yes. Yes. I know I'm certainly not a help, but 19K Fox, what's up? We also have let's see, anybody else new? Mighty Wolf is here. And Mighty Wolf says, am I the only one who wants Proper to keep the name Jenny? No, you're not the only one. There's a lot of other people who do as well. Maverick the Cruel is here. What is up, man? The Mr. P channel needs 700 subs. Guys, we gotta have him stop doing this. Just get him to 1,000 so we can have this all be over.
It'll be 10,000. It's a never-ending struggle.
Right. Hey, sketch therapy. Puerto Rican Jeremy, what's up? What is up? They are great friends of the channel. We might do another, what's it called? We were watching fan films on World Class Bullshitters, and that was a lot of fun. And because of the last time we're going to have a redo, and I look forward to that very much. And the Council of Jeremy's is going to be either next week or the week after, and that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of special guests lined up. I think you're going to be very surprised. And hey, what's up, Snowed Up? He was just on Mary's stream. And all right, so Cobra Kai season 2. We had to wait about 11 months for that to come out, and I just want to get all of your initial reactions. No, non-spoiler. Excuse.
What I was gonna say is, you want to tell them like non-spoilers for 20 minutes so they know it's safe for the next 20 minutes.
What? That's what I was just saying.
Your mom.
Okay, I didn't want to do this, but you know what?
And I are like besties. Oh!
Yeah. I am drinking Coors Banquet just because, why not?
Oh, it's perfect. It's too perfect.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, product placement. Oh, it has like a thing. It says, be proud of doing it your own way. It's like in the cap. Be proud of doing it your own way. Interpret that as you may. But I just want to get all, by the way, this is non-spoiler talk for about the first half, but in about 20 minutes from now, we're probably going to get to spoiler territory, and that's where all the juicy stuff is going to be spewed out, and we can, oh my gosh. I just realized what I just did. Anyways, let's just get you, we're going to start with Lee. I just want to get your initial reaction when you first heard about Cobra Kai, and how does this season hold up to the rest of the show as well as the films, in your opinion?
Now, am I allowed to use bad language, or do I got to keep it PG-13?
I mean, say whatever you want. Just no slurs. That's it. Is that an okay ground rule?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll be good.
My initial reaction, the thing that sums it up for me in about 2 words: holy shit. That's all I gotta say. Like, it was just, oh shit. Like, that's all I thought. It was that for me. Like, I've seen Karate Kid and everything else, and just like, even the first, like, I don't know, 5 seconds, because I know we're not doing spoilers, but from those first initial 5 seconds, that was the first thing that ran through my mind.
Wow.
It was just, holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. The beginning, by the way, this isn't really much of a spoiler. It's pretty well known that Cobra Kai Season 2 does pick off right after the Season 1 ends. It's been shown in the teasers. It's been shown in clips before. So, by the way, any of that is totally fair game, because most people have seen that.
So, like, if it's in the trailers and stuff like that, we're allowed to talk about it, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just as long as you don't ruin the context of it.
Sure.
Yes, then we're all good.
Then that's why I had holy shit, because and if you haven't seen the Karate Kid movie, then I don't know what to tell you, but knowing how Creasy's character was in that, and then seeing the dude, and there's people coming back where they when they come back into that kind of a role and they overplay a lot of things, but this dude just has a natural thing, and I'm not spoiling anything. Like, you could see just the way he talks, and he's gravelly, even when you're watching the promos and stuff. That voice, and I was just in it right from the beginning. Right when that man started talking, I literally didn't go to sleep till like 4 a.m.
Yeah, no kidding. I was like that too. By the way, guys, just smash that like button if you want to. And if you don't like this so far, I mean, go ahead, hit the dislike button. My feelings will not be hurt. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Mary, what were your thoughts on this season without giving too much away? And how do you think it fits in well with the rest of the franchise, the other Karate Kid movies?
So I will have to echo Lee's sentiments of like the whole holy shit thing, right? Like, because it really is, I cannot stress to you guys enough. This is worth your time. Okay. If you don't have a YouTube Red account, and if you've already used your free trial and you are not ready to pay for YouTube Red, go make another account and watch this series. Okay. Because at this point, it's not even just about Daniel and Johnny anymore, right? Like this sort of age-old conflict between Daniel Larusso and Johnny, where they have this backstory and everything's really tense between them. That is, of course, what drew us in for the first season, and it is definitely a big part of season 2, because they never shy away from making sure that they focus on these characters. But over time, I have come to truly and genuinely love, and I mean love. I am so deeply invested in these new characters, in these kids, that I cannot express to you the level of involvement, for lack of a better term, because we're spoiler free right now, that I had when everything came to a close for this particular season. You will find yourself so invested in these new characters. You will care about them the way that we had all wanted to care about the new characters for Star Wars, right? Like just to give you like a little bit of a parallel here. These kids, they matter to me. And I am I'm just.
I know. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm using my voice right now. Listen to the absolute intent of my voice when I tell you, you will care about these kids so much. And you trust
me. No spoilers, Mary. No spoilers.
No, she's not spoiling anything. You're good.
All I am saying is, when I tell you, you are going to care about these kids. You're going to want to know what happens to them. I could not mean that more emphatically. I need season 3 now. I need it yesterday. I need it at 12:01 last night. I need season 3 now, because I need to know what happens. This was so amazing. It was perfectly paced, perfectly timed, perfectly acted. The environment, everything about it. I was so completely and utterly involved in this, and it even distracted me from Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a nice surprise. I thought it was going to be a little later than it was. I guess I got the date confused. But yeah, it was just like I totally forgot that it was happening because of all this Endgame stuff and having to hear about everybody and their mother talk about Brie Larson. So, I mean, I'm so happy that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I was so happy to just get away from something that wasn't, how horrible Star Wars is and the MCU being ruined, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm done with that for a little bit. I just want to have a good time and not have to be reminded about the world we live in or having somebody push a particular political agenda. In fact, it makes fun of that. It makes fun of it. And it's great. And it continues to do it. I mean, people were worried that it was going to go that route. No, you got nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about. In fact, I can safely say that these writers, I can tell you this. Oh my gosh. They not only are they great storytellers, but they're also clearly very good at, and also, they respect the characters and the mythology, the characters that came before and also that they inherited and the characters that they created. They make sure that everybody who's in here has some sort of purpose, and everybody does. And each character gets some sort of arc and proper development, just whether they're the main characters or they're just like a new character who doesn't have very many lines. I mean, everybody has a purpose in this, and I think it's just so well done and so well crafted and trimmed just to the perfect amount of time. It's just mind-blowing that people in Hollywood can't echo this kind of behavior. It also shows that they're not only just observant and respectful of what's came before, and they've probably seen what Hollywood has done to pre-existing franchises and just worrying about the monetary gain over the actual story, just for making a quick buck. It also seems as though they very much listen to to criticism and praise, what they liked about the movie, or the movie. It feels very cinematic, but yeah, what they liked about the series, what they didn't like about it, and they listened to it. And I think one of the things that they heard is a lot of people comparing it to how, people saying like, oh, why couldn't Star Wars be like Cobra Kai? Exactly. I think they listened to that and they made a couple of Star Wars references, when Daniel's talking about balance during like the training there, and Sam's just like, his daughter's like, you mean like the Force? No, it was kind of funny. And I think somewhere in there they made very subtle jabs at Star Wars.
Dude, so it's not spoiling anything to bring up the joke that he made, right? Like, so there's a joke, because it's completely within the context of Johnny's character. Johnny is this old school guy who was a teenager in the 80s, right? Like, he's not hip and up to date on the newfangled technology, and he just doesn't know what to do with it. So he goes out and he's talking with this woman, and she's talking about how she's really active in activism, right? Like, she's got these things she does, and she's like fighting the patriarchy. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, some of these things are really systemic. And he's like, yeah, man, I hate the Patriots.
When I saw that, and that's not a spoiler, I believe that was like wasn't it in a promo, or no? Because they do the next time thing. Okay, yeah.
Not exactly spoiler. We're not talking about the context of why he's having the conversation.
Yeah.
It's just it's so funny, and it makes sense to his character. Like, he has no idea what he's doing with some of the stuff, some of this new technology. And so he's out trying to learn some of this stuff and get involved with people and stuff. And he winds up it's just funny, and it makes sense to his character. And there are other parts where jokes like that happen that we'll get into in the spoilers, of course.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of jokes in there. I mean, I found myself several times just bursting out laughing because it's really funny. And a lot of it has to do with, I mean, sometimes it was used for cheap jokes, but for the most part, I mean, it's genuinely funny. And there's one character I don't particularly like, and I know we talked about this earlier, and it's not much of a spoiler really, so this is fine. One character is just kind of annoying to me. He's used for, I guess it seemed like it was forced humor. It's just kind of goofy. I'd have to rewatch it though. My mind can be changed. But it's this guy, like this grown-ass man who decides that he's gonna join the Cobra Kai. That he's gonna just join in with all these teenagers when he's just like, I don't know, this clearly, like, at the very least he's like in his mid-20s or something. He
was a kid in the 80s. Like, he's like my age. He's in his 30s.
Oh
yeah. Watch the show proper.
I did. I just wasn't listening when he was talking because I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, he was just weird. He was just weird. Like, why do you want to hang out around a bunch of, teenagers? It's just
that was the joke. That literally.
Okay, I'd have to rewatch it, but yeah, a lot of what he was saying was just so silly, and it's just like, why do we need this?
No, it's because it's weird. Why are you doing this, you weirdo?
Well, no, I mean, Cobra Kai is already funny. You don't have to try to make it weird. Like, I don't know. That's just me, though. But that's just a nitpick, too.
Here's the thing with this show that I find. There was once a show that I really loved that stands as my all-time greatest show, but this is like coming into number 2 territory right now. But one of my all-time favorite shows was Breaking Bad. And Breaking Bad to me was like the pinnacle of great writing. Like, everything in the show made sense. It had continuity. I remember even at the last episode, they tied in a watch to make it a pivotal moment in the series.
Yeah.
And I find that kind of writing in here. It's like nothing is thrown away. Nothing is never just left hanging from right now, from the first season to the second season. Honestly, every move they've made, everything I've seen. I've never seen an episode where I'm just like, oh, that's kind of just a filler. Like nothing's filler. Like I was legitly engaged and saw the purpose of every single episode, every single character, everything they put in this show has a reason to be there, and it's refreshing. I haven't seen this kind of writing in God. I mean, except for like breaks with like Game of Thrones and things like that. I just don't see this kind of writing even on television. You just don't see it.
No, you don't. And that's probably why a lot of people are very excited about this, because not only is it great writing, it's also a great addition to something that everyone just seemed to love in the 80s. You know, people grew up with it. You know, people wanted to take karate lessons because of this movie, because of the trilogy. No, I'm not going to count Karate Kid: The Next Generation.
Karate Kid.
Does not. No, that does not exist in this dojo.
I was at the panel. They even said that they might try to bring her into it because they like to think of this as all coexisting. Because Miyagi was her teacher too. You're gonna have to own that proper. Own it.
You know what? That's why they are great writers. And you know what? I think they do a very excellent job at just owning everything. You know what they did. You know what they did in season 1, and they do this in season 2 as well. Not too much of a spoiler, but they do cherry pick certain scenes from the 3 movies, and they did some of that with Karate Kid Part 3. And what they did with it made the Karate Kid Part 3 actually look like an exciting movie that didn't suck. You know, they made it look good, and they're just using it in a way that helps grow the character development and enhance the story in a way that it just ties everything together. And they do it so brilliantly. And to do that to a movie that is just universally hated, like Karate Kid Part 3, like, I mean, that's just a testament on how good they are at their job. And I am just really saddened that out here there aren't as many writers like them anymore, and it's just great and refreshing to be able to see this. But yeah, I mean, that's just my take on that.
Well, I gotta say, after Cobra Kai inspired me to start watching some of these shows that they're putting on here, and I gotta say, a lot of them are actually really good. I don't know who YouTube is getting, but I've watched like 3 shows and all of them have been just stellar. So I don't know, like across the board, they must be getting like people who are like, yeah, we want to do stuff, but we're not known. And, you know, I'd say watch out for original content, because YouTube is doing some big things. They know exactly. They seem to know what people are wanting, and I think they base it on maybe seeing all of the content that floats around here from the big content creators here. And I think that that is shown through this writing. The jabs that they take and the things like that, and I'm not spoiling anything if you've seen season 1, the jabs that they take about current issues and how they relate them to these characters, that's like clearly someone who knows everything that's going on and knows what the appeal of this show is going to be. And they're not, it doesn't seem like they even really care about who's going to be upset about it or not. They're just doing a good story. And I think that's what makes last season so appealing and this season so appealing, and continuity, which we always talk about.
Oh yeah, definitely in terms of, you know, if thematically, yes. I mean, there were, this is a little bit off topic, but you know, when you're talking about continuity, there were a couple things that I did notice, and they're just nitpicks that I was just like, really? Like, this is supposed to take place. I know it was filmed, you know, several months separately of each other, season 1 and season 2. But I mean, like, something that was just odd was that Miguel had braces in season 1. Now he just doesn't. Guess he got a orthodontist that worked on weekends, and I don't know.
Okay, so that's the moment where you suspend your disbelief, right? Like, there's also the whole, like, okay, so Miyagi-Do, is open now, and it's just open and it's ready to go. Like they rushed that a little bit in the beginning. But these are nitpicks. These are very tiny little things that don't, in the grand scheme of things, you can't focus on them because there's so much other stuff going on, and there's so much to drag your attention in the correct directions that these little things, they don't matter. I don't even know how you noticed that. I didn't even think about that proper. How did you even focus on that?
You know why? Because there isn't all that much to complain about. And I try to find things to complain about it. I mean, I don't know. I just trying to see, the amount of flaw. And there's no such thing as a flawless movie. But even like my favorite movies, I'm just like, oh, I noticed that, just any little thing can make it better, but it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But if that's hold on though. If this is the only thing that I can come up with that I have a problem with, it's a pretty great show. Especially if like that's my biggest complaint, then yeah. I mean, that just is a testament to how great these people are. Yeah. And by the way, guys, thank you everybody who is in the chat. We have about 23 people watching. Smash that like button. And if you don't like what I'm saying or what anybody else is saying, go ahead and hit that dislike button. I will not be hurt by that. I will not be hurt by that. Just express your opinion honestly, and we'll be okay.
I don't understand why you encourage that.
I encourage them if they dislike it to dislike it, and if they like it.
Troll it. Mostly they just troll and hit the dislike because you tell them to.
Well, right now we have 19 likes and 1 dislike, and I'm pretty sure that's Miss because she was waiting. So we're good. Anyways, so we have a couple of things to look at in the chat, and then after this, we will be getting into spoiler territory, which we're all looking forward to.
Oh, God, yes.
Random Nerd of Doom says, is Cobra Kai something to do with the Karate Kid? Yes.
Yes.
Thomas Gilkey is in the chat. It is his birthday today, so right after this. Huh?
Can I sing happy birthday to Thomas?
Go ahead. I mean, I was going to say that he is going to be having a birthday stream right after this. So right after this, go ahead and hop on over to Thomas's stream. Very excited, very proud that he has made it to a milestone. I will not reveal his age because that is for him to do. But yes, if you would like to sing happy birthday, go for it.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, I'm done.
That was it?
Yeah, well, I don't want to derail us too much.
Fair enough. But Thomas says, if we were to watch Cobra Kai, what background knowledge do we have to have? If we've never seen Karate Kid, can we go in blind? You actually could go it. He asked me. No, it's all good. But yeah, you know what? To be perfectly honest, you could go in completely blind. They have like a huge, 5-minute thing that is kind of a montage of everything that happened. You get it, but it does help, especially with a lot of the details. It'll be a lot more emotionally impactful to at least watch the first movie and probably 10 minutes of the second one for season 1. But yeah, the more knowledge that you have about these films, the better. And the more that you will recognize the kind of care and, just passion that these people have for these characters. So yeah, it definitely helps. But no, it's not a requirement by any means. Okay, 19 Fox says, I can't wait to watch Mary try to do a spoiler-free review of Endgame.
I can handle it. What the heck?
I don't know. Apparently, he thinks you were struggling.
No, I'm just excited. I could put on my game face and act like, oh, well, I can't talk about it. And I could be super down. But no, man, I'm excited. I'm so excited. You guys, you should, I just want to convey the excitement to you. That's what I'm doing.
And
I gotta tell you, I am excited for Endgame at a movie, but anyone who works at the movie theaters,
I have before.
Death right now. So.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine what that was like. And I was never, I never really got like any of the big ones. I mean, I had to clean up after Captain America: Civil War, which sucked. But but yeah, I mean, and the movie theater I worked with was not great. But you know, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, but a huge shout out to everybody who works at a movie theater and has to clean up the crap that people just leave in the seats when they can just take it out with them and throw it away. Don't just leave it in your seats. That's rude. Don't do that. Don't be a douche, okay? And a huge shout out to everybody who does work at the movie theaters, especially during weekends like this upcoming one with Avengers Endgame. Crisco Domingo, I love that username. I absolutely love it. You're a huge Karate Kid fan, and you know what? I don't think I've seen you around before. So, Crisco, if you've been around, sorry I didn't see you before, but I see you now. And if you are new here, welcome to the channel. And if you're not, welcome back. Kay, sorry to everyone in the panel and chat. I had to duck out. Oh, that's okay, Kay. That sounded weird. But yeah, that's all good, man. He's going to have a review of Cobra Kai Season 2 on his channel, so go ahead and check out Kay's channel. Darth Yax is here. Oh, shoot, it jumped on me. There we go. Teresa Martin, what's up? I haven't seen you around in a little bit. I've seen you in the comment section of videos. Yeah, Teresa Martin's everywhere. He's awesome. Lieutenant Motion, what's up? Give me a link. I don't know if I have you on Twitter, but I don't know. If you have a channel, let's check you out. Maybe it was just trolling. I don't know. Okay. All right, you have a few. Okay, if you're on Twitter, just at me at Proper Jeremy. Okay. And all right. Oh my gosh, Kay, I'm not reading that. All right, Caitlin, the keeper of Jeremy's, is here. What's up? Caitlin's awesome. Yeah. Pop Culture BB is very excited that I was telling people to smash the dislike button. Obi-Wan Reviews, yeah. Obi-Wan Reviews is here. Benzo H is here, and you know what? I think it's about time to get into spoiler territory instead of just me just kind of rambling on and talking about anything. Okay, who wants to go first? Start out with anything. I don't care what it is, just anything.
Oh my god! I think my Miguel might die.
All right, one more time. Spoiler talk. You've been warned.
So I'm going to go with, and I'm just going to throw it right out here and be the ballsy guy here. I'm going to go with that freaking fight scene in the season finale was by far the greatest of fights that I have seen realistically as a martial artist, to how they fought as freaking kids. That felt like a school battle, a martial arts battle, a straight up dirty street brawl. I mean, as a person who does fighting and teaches karate and self-defense for a living, folks, I can tell you that shit was on the money. Oh my God. I don't even know. Like, I have a lot of favorite scenes in television, but my God, I mean, that one's gonna, I've watched that scene like 15 times. Like, my God, the choreographing, just the way it went down, it was amazing. That was amazing.
I was gonna say actually
that.
Like that ending, that entire fight scene there at the end, which went on for ages, right? Like, this was such a long, involved, detailed fight scene. Like, you had fight scenes, like fights between characters that are like really small players, right? Like you had Dimitri fighting against Hawk, right? And I can't believe Dimitri kicked his butt there at the end. Like that was amazing.
That was a fantastic moment, I gotta say. You know, seriously, like talk about like probably the lamest character of the three, you know, just like the biggest wuss you could possibly imagine, you know, but he's so funny, and you know, he actually had character growth that was so realistic. Can you believe it, guys? In Cobra Kai, they train people.
Right?
They train people. Are you kidding me? The amount of training that they had, the attention to the different types of techniques or different methods of it is just incredible. And what did we have in The Last Jedi? Nothing. We had no training at all. So it's just polar opposite. You know, it's just like people have to grow first. Also, guess what? The students fail. They fail sometimes.
And oh my God! And the way that they had Robbie fail at the end there was so incredibly.
At the very end.
At the very end, the way that because Robbie was the good kid, you know.
And just to clarify, people, this is a huge spoiler. This is like the ending climax. For those who don't know, you've been warned again.
We cannot stress enough. This is a spoiler discussion of the entire season 2 of Cobra Kai.
This is the biggest one that I'm getting out of the way. Right off, ripping the Band-Aid. So there's a huge fight sequence that happens with basically every single student who's a karate student on the first day of school. Most of this season takes place in the summer. That's why they had Cruel Summer playing, you know, a lot of times. I don't understand the reference. Maybe it was in the movie, but
you know. Samantha and Tori fighting, right?
Yeah, you had Sam and Tori fighting, and you had a bunch of other students fighting. But then you had Robbie. You had Robbie and Miguel fighting, and they were fighting because I guess at a party, Sam and Miguel kissed after all this time, and it was like in the last couple episodes. So, you know, shit's about to go down. You know, the two boyfriends are gonna fight, and what happens at the end is after all this time, Miguel has grown and has kind of he's grown from the kid who was just talking about no mercy and taking Johnny's teachings very literally. He was becoming the Cobra Kai that Johnny remembered as a kid and didn't want to have happen to Miguel. And Miguel goes and he learns very much the ways of Johnny. And what were you saying, Mary?
Chris is a dick muffin. He takes back over Cobra Kai.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in just a second. But so with all of that happening, there's a fight and Miguel is about to win and kick Robbie's ass and really hurt him. But then he stops. He shows him mercy. He says, "I'm sorry," and just wants to end it because he realizes what he does is wrong. And by doing the right thing, what happens? Robbie comes at him and he kicks him off the second floor balcony. And he breaks his spine on a railing on the second floor. His neck?
Ray showed his neck, yeah.
It was his neck.
Oh, it was? Okay,
yeah.
Well, it looked like when he was falling, it was like his back, and I thought
when he was falling, I thought it was going to be his back.
Yeah. But I guess the whiplash is probably...
Yeah,
so Miguel is pretty much...
on the banister and then hit his head... Because I rewatched that scene, because when I got to that moment, I don't know about you guys, I have not been genuinely surprised in years by anything. I'm normally able to call what's going to come. And now when I got to that scene, I was like, oh, he's going to kick him and maybe he'll fall off the rail, but then, you know, they'll have a moment and he'll pick him back up or something.
No.
But when they show that wide shot, I go, oh, shit.
Of him falling?
Yeah, I literally said... Holy shit, this is happening.
Yeah.
Now, what's my look? I was just like...
Yeah.
I was laying in bed when that happened, right? Like, I'm laying in bed. and I'm trying to wind down because I kept telling myself, I've got to go to sleep. I've got to go to sleep. I've got to go to sleep. Right. And I had hoped to just fall asleep to this series and wake up the next day and pick back up where I'd fallen asleep at. But I had made it all the way to the end. Right. I'm still wired watching this. And then I was laying down watching it. And then I see Miguel go over the railing, and I sat up. And as he's continuing to fall in slow motion, I start waving my hands like a crazy person, going, no, Miguel, no. Because I knew everything inside of me, everything about the way it was shot, everything about the way that he was falling, told you this was not going to end well. And all I could think, like the first thing I thought was, please don't let his back be broken. Because initially I thought, oh God, I don't want him to not be able to play karate. But as the scene continued on, and it was in slow motion, so you had enough time to sort of think it through, right? I realized he's going to die. Oh my God, Miguel's going to die. And so I went from hoping he would just not break his back and be able to continue to do karate to just begging and pleading with my screen. Please don't let him die. Please don't let him die. Please don't let him die. Please don't die, Miguel. Please don't die, Miguel. And I'm literally saying this out loud. My brother is in the next room. I had been so involved with what was going on, I didn't even know he was home yet. I had no concept or awareness of anything outside of what was going on that screen. He comes over and he knocks on the door and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!" He was like, "Okay," and he gets away. And I'm, "Please don't let him die." And then you turn to find out the first 24 hours are the most critical. Miguel may die.
And here's the thing that's so, and I'm sorry, Mary's probably going to like have a connection when I say this, but what's so beautiful about this, and I know I'm using the word beautiful for a horrific scene, but bear with me. What's so beautiful and elegant about the scene is this is a culmination of two running themes and a theme from the very first season, which is what philosophy is right. And can people change? And when they do change, is it too late? It's been the running. If you look at the course of the season, and even with Creasy coming back, they do kind of like a trying to redeem his character. And I'm not going to lie, that one episode was a hell. I kind of almost got on board with him because
and that's what I was talking about. By the way, I was talking about earlier that they were using scenes from the Karate Kid Part 3 and having those opening shots from Karate Kid Part 3 about him on the streets and how he's still in that position now helped make Karate Kid Part 3 look good. And seeing those parallels, because it's, I mean, and that those kind of little things is exactly why people who are both casual fans and longtime fans of the Karate Kid series love this show. But anyways, you're talking about the themes and the parallels.
The themes and the parallels, and even if you're not a Karate Kid fan, but more so if you're a Karate Kid fan, which I pick up on, we see Larusso. And even from the first season, as this kind of angelic, heroic kind of person. And we see Johnny, and even though we can empathize with him, we're like, yeah, this guy's a dick. But the more you see, you start to realize, actually, in my mind, LaRusso kind of morphed into an asshole that,
A little bit.
Yeah.
Self-righteous dick muffin, right? Like,
Daniel?
Like, Daniel.
Yeah.
Into this thing where he got everything, but the next generation of who he had, like his son, was ungrateful and all this stuff. And it was showing the parallels that even though he won, it felt like he didn't really win. And here's Johnny, man. Johnny is like us. He lost. He was branded a loser, basically. And he was struggling.
By his father figure of all people. And I've had a couple of videos. I actually had one video talking about. It was the one. I think it was like one of my most viewed videos. I had a comparison of. I was talking about Johnny and Kreese's relationship and how the last time they saw each other, what happened? Do you guys remember what happened in the Karate Kid Part 2? When he broke the trophy, after he got second place, and he says like, "You're nobody, you're a loser," and then he gets him in a chokehold or something like that, and he almost kills him. And one of his friends, he's just like, "Hey man, Kreese, you're gonna kill him, stop it!" And then what does Kreese do? He backhands that guy. You know, this guy was an asshole. Like, he was a horrible person, and it just goes to.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You
because with that whole scene, even with all of that, when you actually see Johnny's stepfather is worse. So it's like, holy shit, this guy was just. He is the definition of what that kid is. What's his name? The kid we all like.
Miguel.
Miguel. He is what Miguel is. And that's why those two connect. I mean, not on the same level, because Miguel still got a good, strong figure. Well, yeah, because he only had his mother, and Miguel has his mother. Literally, Johnny and Miguel mirror each other, except for Johnny had more abuse with his surrogate fathers. And
right, absolutely.
Like shit.
You could not be more correct on that. But yeah, just looking into his background there, I was kind of surprised too when I eventually saw the scene, because I wasn't sure if it was just gonna be, I don't know. I didn't know how genuine he was, I guess. Like, it was just one of those things where, you know, did Cobra Kai really make him the man that he is? And I guess, you know, it comes into question all the philosophies that he's learned from there. And you even see at the beginning, he's already questioning it. And especially the way that Miguel won, I guess and even with Kreese's, you know, little instructions or tasks or something at the beginning, you could tell that he was manipulating Johnny into making either Cobra Kai form, I wouldn't say it's a political thing, but I guess it's just like one of those, you know, ways of being manipulative and trying to get what you want, but doing it very subtly. Like, he's asserting his dominance because he was his sensei.
But he doesn't back down. Like even though he's willing to give him a second chance, and that's really great about Johnny's character and everything, he also recognizes that there needs to be a stop here, right?
Yes, absolutely. But what I was going for is, you know, with Kreese, I could see that he was going to do what he was doing from a mile away. That was not impressive at all. You know, it didn't. Oh, I mean, it didn't surprise me at all. And I wasn't. I don't think. I mean, what did you guys think? Was it exactly what you would expect from Kreese?
I honestly, after seeing that episode with Kreese, where we kind of saw where he came from and having the military perspective, and people are probably going to hate me for this, but I still feel sympathetic to his character, because here's a man, they don't tell you what he's seen, but if you've been in that situation, I can more forgive him than Johnny's stepdad, because he has watched, it's in his mannerisms. He has seen people die. That's apparent. And his mentality of always being in war is what most soldiers go through, where you come back home and the war doesn't end for you. And I think Cobra Kai was his second war. He's a man who I feel like can't live without conflict. And that doesn't necessarily make him bad. It makes him broken. It makes him damaged.
He's a liar.
He is. He's a dirty liar. And I just realized that there's a bunch of messages that are on these banquet caps, and this one says, "Get your hands dirty." Interpret that as you may. But yeah, I'm sure he's gotten his hands dirty a lot, you know, with all of the the strings that he's had to pull in order to successfully and very subtly, but obvious to the audience, not necessarily the characters, that and he uses certain events to his advantage in order to influence Johnny's students. You know?
Yeah, he does. Well, he's a manipulator. Like, I'm completely opposite of of Lee on this one. I have no sympathy for the guy. Look, I get it. The war never ended, right? But when you go out looking, and that was what he was doing, was looking for an opportunity to screw up. He doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't care about anything. All he wants is an opportunity to be on top, be in charge, be in command. And he manipulated and he moved people around in order to make that happen. He's a liar and he's a thief. He stole Cobra Kai. He stole Cobra Kai. Okay.
Well, see, that could be debated.
Literally did, though.
That could be debated, though, because there was in this season, and that brings the point to the parallel storylines. In this season was an underlining question of which one actually is the best way to go. When you think about it, mercy or, the strike first mentality, right? When you think about it, Miyagi Dojo is a symbolism of mercy, pacifism, even their form of karate. And I know that form of karate, it's a form of a pacifist kind of a view of the world, and that they won't necessarily hurt someone unless they have to, unless they're put in that situation. Where Cobra Kai is, because of the way the world is, because of how life is, because of how morally gray it is, it's strike first, right? It's get the jump on things before they get the jump on you. But who's to say which philosophy is actually wrong? Both work in their own ways is the whole thing. And the thing that's messed up is the kids, because when you look at how they treat the modern world to how the 80s was and everything else, and the parallels there, it's like, is Cobra Kai's philosophy old? And Johnny answered that. He's like, yeah, our way of thinking is older. But when he instills that in Miguel, you can fault him for that, because Miguel showed mercy, and the person who's supposed to show mercy kicked him off of a second story.
Yeah, exactly. And also thinking about, and when I saw that moment and I rewatched him just running away, panicked, was he actually, Mary, this question passes on to you as well as the chat. By the way, I'm going to get to you guys in just a second, because everyone's been awesome, and we're going to wrap it up pretty soon. Not quite yet. We still have some time, but right after that, we're going to be on Thomas Gilkey's birthday stream. And but anyways, I want to pass this question on to everybody. Do you think that Robbie was running away because he felt bad for what he did, or more because he just didn't want to get arrested because of his criminal background?
Well,
and he didn't want to get caught.
We've seen the kind of growth in Robbie for the last, like essentially since like halfway through last season, right? We've seen Robbie being willing to own a lot of the stuff that he's done, like even the mistake that he made with the medal of honor, that he should have given straight to Sam, but he didn't do. We've seen Robbie do a complete 180, right? So I think when he's running away, I think this has everything to do with being completely and utterly ashamed of himself, because he's been willing to own the consequences of his actions lately. He's been willing to accept those and stare them in the face. I don't think this has anything to do with being afraid of consequences so much as it's just this horrible level of shame, because it's everything. It goes against everything he was taught. It goes against everything Daniel embedded into him. And I feel like Robbie's still a good kid. He just made a mistake. He made a terrible, horrible mistake. It was absolutely horrible, the kind of mistake he made, but he never intended for what happened to happen. He was angry. He was trying to defend Sam. He feels like Miguel took advantage of Sam, right? Because Sam was drunk, and he doesn't understand what Robbie didn't know was that Sam kissed Miguel, not the other way around. Robbie did not have all of the information. So when he goes and he kicks him, it's out of this sort of enraged moment, because it's not even about himself at this point. It's about Sam. It's about feeling like she has been sullied, like she's been taken advantage of. And so I think it was a measure of rage that came from a moment where it wasn't even about himself. And I do think he's a good kid. He just made a horrible mistake, and now he's terribly ashamed of himself, because I don't would have run from the consequences. I think he would. And
it's not going to look well for Miyagi-Do karate.
No.
I would like to say something though, because Mary, you brought this up with Sam, and to kind of piggyback that, did anyone else feel like that chick she essentially started that whole thing. I'm sorry, I sided with Tori. I think that she had every right to be enraged. She reminds me of the high school girl who's confused, and she really played both sides of that. And one could say, oh, she was in emotional turmoil, but I think she played both ends of those two romantic connections she had.
No.
And she essentially started that shit. The whole thing.
She did, but I don't think it's not unjustified.
She knew what she did the moment she did it, and that was drunk. Okay, how many of us have done things we shouldn't have done when we were drunk? And yet, right after she'd made the mistake, she takes a step back and she realizes she's done something she shouldn't have done. Right? She made a mistake. This is about making mistakes. If there's a theme here in this particular season, it's about making mistakes and still being a good person who can rise above it. I don't believe there's anything wrong with Sam. I don't believe she was doing anything intentionally. I think she was conflicted. She's a teenager. She's in the middle of hormones. She's in the middle of crazy town. There's all of this chaos going on around her between Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. And she's got all of these issues that she's trying to sort out. And so she had a moment of weakness that was brought on by Tori goading her into a drinking contest, which she under normal circumstances wouldn't get into. And so in a moment of weakness and silliness, she makes a mistake and immediately takes a step back. And after that moment, she's just trying to figure out how to reconcile everything. I don't believe she was doing or playing anyone intentionally. I think she was caught up in an emotional moment. She didn't know what to do with herself, and she was very drunk. So drunk so that she was worried about even going home.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they even took her to Johnny's place because, Robbie's mom sucks.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, we got
talk about just a garbage human. Like at that point, just who cares about my son? I'm just going to go on vacation and not pay the bills, so he's going to have to deal with that electricity or water or anything. Like it's just what the fuck. I don't understand this. It's ludicrous to me. But anyways. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? Oh, wait, what? Oh, I was gonna ask a question. That's what. Yes, and it comes from Kay, who left the stream, but he's left a few questions that he'd like, that he'd like us to answer. He says, "Were you closer to crying when Miguel died, or when Johnny cried about it?" Oh, when he received the voicemail. I don't think Miguel's dead. I think he's going to be paralyzed. I don't know if he's going to be in sort of a Christopher Reeve kind of situation where he couldn't function anything except for his head, or if it might just be his spine, like in this mid back where he hit the railing, but I have no idea. No, I know. I don't think he hit his neck though, because then
it showed
on the X-ray, and he had a neck brace. If you watch,
I know, but if you slow down when he actually hit the railing, it was like his back, and then he like fell back. So maybe was it the whiplash or something?
I don't know. All I know is what they focused on was the X-ray of his neck
afterwards. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. I saw both. I was just I don't know. I don't see the point in killing him off. I think it would be. I think it would add. I think this show has demonstrated. These writers have demonstrated that they have the guts to take risks like this and to add to the stakes. And this is.
I don't feel like we're in the clear with Miguel, and here's why. Okay, now put your tinfoil hat on with me for just a second, and let's travel down the road. Okay, so Johnny goes with his friends, right? His friends from back in the day, and one of them dies. They make it very clear they are willing to kill characters. They make it very clear that they are willing to kill people off in this. And I don't know if that was their attempt at either prepping us for a potential death with Miguel, or subverting us and making us think it's possible they'll kill Miguel. I don't know which way it's meant to go. Here's what I do know. They are perfectly willing to kill people. I do not want Miguel dead, but I'm also not willing to take it off the table just because I don't want Miguel dead. And I now know that they're willing to kill them. So
yeah, and for a little bit of context, You know that guy in the Karate Kid movie when he said, "Yeah, give him a body bag." Yeah, he ends up in a body bag in the end of one of the episodes. So there's a. I thought like, you know, it was kind of poetic the way they did it. It definitely could have been a joke, but you know, no, it could have been done that way. It could have been done that way, but they did not go that route. And he was saying, I think one of his last words to Johnny, they, by the way, took him out of the hospital to go to a bar and take him out drinking and go camping. And then it happened. But, you know, if he was going to die anyways, you know, he figured, you know, let's just have one more go at it. And I thought it was beautiful. And it made me like that group of friends. And I think I'm going to look back at that particular episode and go back and watch the first movie and just kind of just watch it in a completely different light. You know, these kind of things are why, you know, these writers are, you know, they're taking very good care of every single detail that they can about the other movies and just adding a whole nother dimension to it, something we didn't see before.
And I just want to play off of both you and Mary. One, if Miguel does die, I think that would be a good thing. And before everyone starts,
no,
hold on. I'm going to give you my reasons why. Because
you think he's gonna die.
I think he's gonna die, and here's why. Not just because of that scene that you said, but that scene in the woods and Miguel's death would symbolize two things: that people have tried this way of peace and things like that, and it would show that if you want peace and if you want something that is nonviolent and something that lasts, sometimes people have to sacrifice themselves in order to get a message across. And I think Miguel's death would both be, it would be an inspiration to Miyagi-Do to sort of, in a remembrance thing and trying to, you know, recruit more people. And also, too, that would kind of be a thing for Cobra Kai, and it would help spur that rivalry even more, because now, you know, if he dies, Percy is going to use that as his motivation to be like, you showed mercy, and now one of the people you trained is dead. And he's going to use that as his war cry.
He already has. He already has done that. He's already bought Cobra Kai. He bought the place from the landlord because the landlord, you know, and Johnny don't get along very well. They've exchanged words, but, you know, it's just what, I mean, it's gonna not end well. And we already see that the consequence of what happened with Miguel is going to have a huge ripple effect on everybody. I don't think he's going to die, though. I think that's a little bit too much. It would make for a lot more drama, you know, it would have a much bigger impact if he was paralyzed. I mean, I just think, you know, because you don't, you know, and I understand that the killing of, I think it was Tommy, I think that was him, that died. And Tommy's death was, I guess, yes, in a way that, you know, they're not afraid to kill characters off. Not everybody is safe. That makes sense to me. But at the same time, killing off the main character that you started out with at the beginning, the first student, the first member of the young cast member, and killing them off at the end of season 2, I don't see any benefit to that. I understand what you were saying, Lee, but I just think there's a lot more because that ends his story when it would be a lot more interesting to just continue it, but in a way that those events have permanently affected him.
Perspective, his whole story coincided with Johnny's story, and his story essentially redeemed Johnny. And think about what his death would do.
redeemed. If Miguel dies, not only is Johnny not redeemed, Johnny is in fact way worse off than he was before, because his prized pupil, who he got into this, is dead, right? So it actually, it almost, I hate to say this. I hate to say this. I do not want to say this.
Do it.
I can almost see why it is that they would want Miguel to die, in that I agree with Kay that his arc would be complete because he ends up the hero. He shows mercy, but it also leaves you in this place for Johnny where he has to be redeemed now. Like, as far as we're all concerned, Johnny's already redeemed, right? Like,
through Miguel.
In terms of who he was before, because we recognize that this image we've had of him from the first Karate Kid is a one-sided image. Now we understand that there's a lot of dimensions here that we haven't acknowledged before, and so he's never really even necessarily a bad kid. Just he was the pupil of someone who had him imbibe some bad ideas. As far as we're all concerned, Johnny's a good guy who's had a lot of bad breaks. Now we have an issue where Johnny does actually need to be redeemed from this thing that he's been the catalyst for. Now he's gone and he's done something even worse than what his own sensei did to him. He's gotten a kid killed. And that would be something that I could see Johnny having to work through and figure out.
Yeah, but it could also serve as a catalyst for why him and Daniel would team up, because it's fairly clear that's where they're going with this, because Creasy has now got his hooks in. He's got his core base. You can consider Hawk kind of like his pupil now, because Hawk's got so much rage in him. He is pretty much like Johnny 2.0. So, yeah. I mean, he's got essentially his pupil now. And I think that Miguel's death would serve as the final way to bridge this. See, because they've been trying to build a bridge between Daniel and Johnny now very clearly. And every time they do, something comes along and knocks it down. But if you look at that elevator scene, and then when you see that he's seen that Johnny was torn up about Miguel, there's so much said between them in the elevator. There's not even any hatred or anything. It's almost sympathy that Daniel's looking at him as, like, he realizes that for the first time Johnny realizes how bad this rivalry has gotten, how bad even maybe both of them have messed up. And
yes,
I think
yes, exactly.
And I think Miguel dying would cement what they needed for those two to finally bridge the gap, because they'll both be on that agreement that, hey, because it wouldn't just be Johnny's deal either. It'd be Daniel. They both fueled this rivalry. So that would be on both of them, not just Johnny.
If it's okay, I just want to address something that was just said into the chat by Capison. He says that if Miguel died, that means Robbie would go to prison for his death, and that would make no sense whatsoever. And I'm not trying to dispute you or anything like that. I'm just going to say at this point, one way or another, Robbie has to go to prison. Miguel's death or no, because Robbie has gone and done something horrible. And
yes, and due to his past criminal history, it's not going to look well for him.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about Robbie being a criminal right now, because Robbie is a criminal. He, at absolute best, he caused this other person to be paralyzed. He's going to jail one way or another, right? So I don't think, and I don't know how they're going to deal with this. I don't know how they plan on dealing with or approaching this, but one way or another, there are consequences for Robbie. And this, we're not talking community service. We're talking about a kid at bare minimum forcing another kid to be paralyzed for the rest of his life, because Miguel is not walking out of this. Period.
And oh my God, think about if he died.
Oh, that pun, Mary, that pun. Oh gosh.
If he died, and that's why I said that for his death too, because if he died, then essentially you have that, and that would be a parallel of this war between Daniel and Johnny, which was who it was originally about, right? It was originally Daniel and Johnny that started this thing, and Creasy just came back in and slithered his way in. But let's be real. Daniel and Johnny started this thing. So they own part of this blame too. And now if they both lose people on their side, you're talking about a way to bridge that gap for them to come together and be like, we've got to destroy this thing once and for all before we lose more people, because now you have the loss on Miyagi-Do's side and Cobra Kai's side. And them being the only adults in this can rational see, like, yeah, we've lost people on each side. We've got to put this to bed and think about the kids. Because when you think about it, and that's why I like the wife's character so much too, is because
Amanda's pretty great. But yeah, I mean, she's the one who's been calling Daniel out on his shit the entire time. I mean, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, you know, like for the first couple of times I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes it's just unnecessary. But when she's right about something, oh, she's damn right about it. And she keeps Daniel in check. And without her, he would be so much worse off, because he keeps talking about like, oh, Cobra Kai is going to pay for this. And it's affecting their marriage. And it's affecting their business. You know, and she's doing all the heavy lifting.
And that's the auto shop. These guys are fighting like they're kids, but they're not. And the worst part is they brought kids into this. And is it really Robbie's fault? Is it Miguel's fault? No, these two adults were supposed to be, as a sensei, okay? As a sensei myself, if my student takes what they learn from here and they injure another student, even if I'm not responsible what goes on outside of here, if they use what I've taught them as a black belt and they hurt someone, I share as much responsibility as they do. And I mean, some people will be like, no, well, you know, after they no, because I'm their teacher. I am supposed to guide them as an adult. I'm supposed to guide them on the right path. And the lessons I teach them, yes, I'm teaching you some dangerous moves, but this is if you get into that situation and you have to defend yourself, then by all means, you know, all bets are off. But if my student takes what I've taught them and they physically hurt someone innocent, I have just as much blame as the student themselves, because I taught them. And that was, I think, what the wife was conveying with all of this. She's like, you guys are like two big kids still thinking it's the 80s, fighting it out. And now these kids are caught in their crossfire. And Creasy just came in and made it 20 times worse and turned it into like a war.
Absolutely. And there's a couple other things I would like to talk about with the chat. And then we're going to have to end it soon, because we got to get to Thomas Gilkey's birthday stream, and it's his 30th birthday. And happy birthday, Thomas!
Yeah.
By the way, smash the like button if you haven't, and if you don't subscribe to these lovely panelists here, Lee, Cole the Fourth, and Mary Mayhem, my imaginary friend Jeffrey will die, and I just want you to know that. And I don't. Jeffrey? No, no, no. Go subscribe to these lovely people. It's such a pleasure having you both on, and people I can talk about this with, because, you know, I mean, I love this show so much. I mean, you talk about your love of, you know, Marvel or any sort of IP. You know, this is the show for me, and it's perfect, and I absolutely love it.
Can I just address one more thing we haven't talked about? And I'm surprised. I was waiting to see if any of you brought it up.
Well, give me a second. Well, it's probably going to lead to a huge discussion. So could we save that for like right after I read the chat and we get to that?
Yeah.
Okay. Kay says, after seeing what happened to Miguel, go back to episode 1 and watch Johnny versus Kreese. It's the same mistake. Johnny shows Kreese mercy and Kreese knocks him on the floor. Exactly. That's actually that's an interesting observation. Wow. Teresa Martin says, and with Johnny dating Miguel's mom, the father figure thing is even more pronounced, and it's not just that either. Like, wow. Okay, so yeah, I love how they really made Miguel into Johnny's adopted son. Father figures have always been a big thing in Karate Kid, but Johnny and Miguel are the most prominent showing of that. I completely agree. There's been all sorts of ones, because I think both of them grew up without fathers. I don't remember Daniel ever having a father, really. So Miyagi seemed to be that figure. Yep, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit further. If anybody has any more questions, feel free to ask. We're not going to be on for too much longer. Probably we'll wrap it up in like 10 minutes. Sound cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Because the movie theater is like calling me off the hook, and I'm like, you guys called me. Like, look, I'm not even dressed for the role. They call me and they're like, oh, can you call at last minute? And I'm like, I'm.
Fair enough. Teresa Martin says Martin Cove said something like you did in the panel. He laminated the way they were doing remakes. Why he is happy with that's why he's happy with Cobra Kai. Yeah, that's how everyone is.
He lamented the way.
Lamented? Is that what I said? Oh,
you said laminated.
Did I say laminated? Oh well. Random nerd of doom. Hey, your imaginary friend, your imaginary Jeffrey is my cousin. He owes me money. Oh, Teresa Martin says Daniel's father died when he was young. Oh, okay. That's probably a detail that I missed.
No, they said between his mom and Daniel, they were talking, and when he got sick, when they were talking about.
That's right. I think did they even talk about it this season?
Yeah. They talked about it this season. He was talking to his mom about it. They were talking about Coney Island, and she was talking about how.
Oh, that's right. That's right. There were so many things that happened in this season. I'm glad they brought her back, though.
Yeah.
Kay says, I don't think Miguel will be paralyzed, but I think he'll spend the next season in physiotherapy and what?
Physical therapy?
That's what he says, physio. I'm guessing physical therapy is what he meant. And he'll never be the fighter he once was, so Hawk will turn on him and probably date Tori. What the? No. Oh, that is a hot take.
You.
Oh, God, no, but...
That chick is nuts, man. I'm sorry. Get it? She has a hard knock life and all that jazz, but that chick is nuts.
She is. And did you see her in the hospital scenes at all? She didn't visit him. Nope. That's
they were being arrested.
Like when he tries to pull her off or whatever, when Miguel's trying to get in the middle of the situation and he's trying to make it stop, she kicks him. She kicks him into the wall. She doesn't care anymore about him. She's just angry. Now it's about revenge for her.
Yeah, she's mad and Robbie's mad.
Sort of the deep love that she had for him.
She doesn't love him. She was infatuated with him and she felt like she owned him.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of sad because I started to like her for a second, but after I just read that. Wow.
That could be a thing. Wow.
Yeah. And plus Hawk's girlfriend left him for another chick. So I'm not kidding about that. And
that was done so well, though. Seriously, Proper. That was done so well. That was that up perfectly. Like I actually enjoy having like especially bisexual like representations in particular, just because I'm bisexual, I guess. So I actually enjoy it when you stick someone who's not explicitly gay in there, because it's possible to go both ways, people.
Thank you.
And so it was a little bit nice because it wasn't over the top. It was played for laughs. It was fun. It was funny, and you could totally buy it with Moon, right? Because Moon is so all over love everybody all over the place. Like you could totally buy you. Oh, I didn't know she was bi, but it totally makes sense that Moon is bi. Like I totally get that. I loved it. I thought it was great. It wasn't overdone. It wasn't all about representation. Like it was just a moment. It made sense. It fit the characters, and everybody moved on.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what?
Still didn't drop the biggest bomb that I'm surprised you guys haven't brought up yet.
Go for it then.
At the end, when Johnny threw his phone and he got the message from Alan.
Oh, after he drunk texted her or messaged her on Facebook, he finally did it, and and then she sent a friend request. She didn't bother to message back, but sent the friend request. And
back. Oh my God!
Now here's the thing, though. That moment is so small, but if you think about it, her coming back would have so many ramifications now.
Oh my God.
Just imagine if she comes back in season 3, because Daniel is kind of on the rocks with his wife, and Johnny is clearly still in love with her. How much shit would that cause if she comes back?
You know, there's a line that sums that up pretty well, and it was actually Amanda who said, I miss the days where our biggest problem was a giant penis drawn on our billboard.
Yep.
Yeah. And I guess at that moment, everything was getting a lot more complicated just by adding Kreese in there. And now you add Allie in there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like seriously, everything is.
I was like,
oh, 1 second. Like, oh, you can keep going.
I was like, because when I thought about it, I was like, you know, that to me, okay, Miguel, and that was pretty shocking. But like, I sometimes tend to highlight like the really small moments, and when he got that message back, that to me was a bigger oh crap. Giving context to everything that's happened within the season, and now you essentially have a big fire, and I think she would be gasoline. And
yeah. Oh yeah, she's bad news. Not because Allie's a bad girl or whatever. I mean, like, we don't really know what's up with Allie at this point in the whole story, but we do know that Allie coming back is another giant monkey wrench in everything. And I'm so down. I am so 110% down. I want to see Allie. Like, I actually would have rather seen Allie than Kreese, to be honest with you, because Kreese, I hate him so much. I hate him.
I love Kreese. That opening fight just got me so ready. Like, that to me, that as a martial artist, that's a real fight. Like, old school martial artists, they ain't gonna try to, like, he's a young buck compared to Kreese. And Kreese, if you notice what he did a lot of counter striking, and just the way he moved, I was buying it because, you know, you come here and you're like, oh, they bring in Kreese, like, how good is he gonna be? He kicked his ass in that opening scene.
Yeah, he did. I was very surprised. Oh, by the way, I just got something really interesting in the chat. Kay said that Tori is Allie's daughter. Just saying. The original cast leak was, let me just, where was it? Allie Schwarber. So that's her maiden name, or not maiden name, married name, with, oh my gosh, dude. And also, I didn't notice this either, that Allie with an I is how she introduced herself to Daniel. Tori with a Y.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that either.
I didn't pick up on that either. I mean, there's so she's probably her daughter. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, see, now I'm definitely down on Team Tori.
Wow. Yeah,
this just got to a whole other level of what the fuck. A whole other level. I mean, I didn't really get to see in the first couple of seasons when they showed her, the couple episodes that they showed her profile picture. Like, it wasn't her, because she hadn't signed on. But I didn't know I don't remember, because usually they have like a residence or something. So I don't know if she's local or not. So maybe that'll kill that theory. But yeah, there was just some kind of interesting parallels. I did not know this, that I did not notice. And oh my gosh, wow. Would that be a plot twist? Also, random nerd of doom. I am not Canadian. Sorry about that.
You're a dork.
Yeah, but yeah, this has been quite an interesting season, and there's going to be a lot of other things that we're going to pick up on that we haven't noticed earlier. By the way, everybody, if you haven't, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you didn't like what any of us had to say, if you didn't get the spoiler warning from earlier and you just came in, you can hit the dislike button if you weren't warned. Oh well, my feelings won't be hurt. I'm saying, you know, if they liked it, hit the like button. If they didn't like it, hit the dislike button. It doesn't hurt you if, you know, there's more likes than dislikes. But anyways, don't want to encourage people. Well, at any rate, we got to wrap this up, and I'm going to put the link to Thomas Gilkey's stream. By the way, I think at some point we were at Oh,
Yeah,
there's the audio. Okay, I'm going to put that into the chat right here. There you go. That is where we're going to be migrating to right afterwards. But before we go, though, I would like to ask if either of you had any closing thoughts, something we didn't talk about that you want to bring up real quick.
No, I'll just say that, like, as I said before, guys, this really is a phenomenal, and I cannot stress that word enough, phenomenal series. You really take some time. You owe it to yourself to watch this stuff. It is absolutely heart-wrenching what goes down in this particular season, and I need season 3. I need season 3 right away, like ASAP. This is such a good series, and honestly, it's one of my favorite. It's honestly quickly becoming one of my favorite shows of all time, very quickly.
I'm surprised it wasn't already.
I have a lot of favorite animes and stuff like that, so like it's hard, but that's saying something, because I have shows that I love so deeply and dearly, things like Ruby, things like Avatar: The Last Airbender, things like that, shows that are so close to my heart and mean so much to me. So for this show to rise in the ranks of my heart so quickly and so potently, it just says so much about it, because I'm used to stuff pulling on my heartstrings. I'm used to stuff sending me through the ringer in terms of series, right? Like, so for this to do what it's done so far is quite, it just speaks volumes about the quality of this content. You owe it to yourself to go see Cobra Kai seasons 1 and 2.
It is worth the free trial. It's heck, and if you like everything that YouTube's putting out and you feel it's worth purchasing, going through past the free trial, go for it. No one's stopping you, and I think it'd be pretty great. If they continue, because I think, Lee, you were saying, were you saying earlier that YouTube has had a few different really good shows?
There goes us promoting YouTube. You bastards change your algorithm for us. Yeah, they have a great. Here on YouTube, they have great content. Wayne is another good show I started getting into because people were telling me about that, and that show is phenomenal. Origin, which is by one of my favorite directors, Paul W. Anderson, who did the Resident Evil series, and Event Horizon. It's like they have a baby, and the show was great.
So they have a couple of different shows that are pretty good. So it's maybe not necessarily just Cobra Kai, even though they're particularly phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, just if you have the free trial, you're not going to lose anything, so why not? But I'm not going to go too far down that shilling rabbit hole. At any rate, yeah, I guess my final thoughts are, as I said earlier, if I had any doubts about these writers' capabilities in terms of storytelling and providing a good follow-up to Cobra Kai Season 1, that is out the window. I have full faith in everything that they are doing. I don't agree with all the decisions, but I do think that there is a lot more room for speculation now than there was at the end of Season 1. Season 1, it was just a couple of things like, what is going to happen with Miguel? Is he going to just be a douche? Like, what is, is he going to become exactly what John Kreese had tried to train Johnny to be? And there were a couple of other things, particularly what was going to happen, with John Kreese there. We now know that answer. But the ending of this season, there are so many different things to speculate on and so many different possible routes that they could go that it's kind of like what I felt at the end of The Force Awakens. There was just a bunch of totally different comparison, but it was the same kind of thing. Like, it was inspiring a lot more questions. And I think they did a lot better job at this finale than they did with last season, because they left a lot of things open-ended, which is very good. And what sucks is that I'm going to have to wait another year to see what the fuck happens. But I will say that the 11 months that it took between seeing Season 1 and Season 2, so well worth the wait.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'm going to be closing out. So everybody, if you haven't already, go subscribe to Lee Cole and Mary Mayhem. And we're going to start out with Mary. Mary, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow night at midnight on my channel, I will be having 2 streams back to back. Each one being, the first one's going to be about a half an hour. It's going to be a non-spoiler review with myself, Chris Knight from The Real Review 3000, Hoff Solo from Hoff Solo, and let's see, it should be Lee. I believe Lee is going to be joining us late for that, and Sean Stackhouse from Sean Stackhouse. So yeah, guys, make sure you tune in. The first half hour of the stream is going to be non-spoiler review, and then the second one is going to be a no holds barred, and to use Cobra Kai or karate or whatever, I don't know. No mercy review of Avengers Endgame. So that'll be tomorrow night at midnight. So make sure you come by and check that out. Even if you don't want to see spoilers because you haven't seen the movie yet, you can catch the first stream. We'll be doing no spoilers, and then the second one. Oh, it's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I really cannot wait. Cannot wait for it tomorrow. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and just watching Avengers Infinity War for the first time. A little bit of catch up.
What the heck, dude?
Wow.
Get it together. Get it together, proper.
No, all jokes. I watched some of it a while ago, but I guess I just didn't finish it. But, you know, especially hearing the hype of it, you know, it makes me a lot more excited, gives me an incentive to watch. But anyways, Lee, you got anything you want to plug? Your karate sensei himself.
Here at my dojo, we give the greatest prices. No,
Oh God. we cut the competition.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing an Aliens watch party, Alien 3 on Sunday. I'm gonna see if I can rustle one more person back who's been a fixture there.
Oh.
You're the streaming already. If you haven't seen those, watch Alien and Aliens watch party. You get the reaction of someone who's never seen the films before.
Do you like hearing women scream? Do you like hearing women terrified? Go watch Lee.
Oh, okay. Those are 2 different questions. Anyways, my name is Proper Jeremy. It's Proper Jenny for the next 67 days. But until then, I will be known as Proper Jenny. But please refer to me as just Proper. That's fine with me. And anyways, thank you all so much. And I am going to be hosting a couple of Council of Jeremys in the next month. And we have a couple guests lined up. We might have, because that time of the month does last for a few days, maybe we could have a couple of Council of Jeremys or more than one. That is a very high possibility. I'm very much looking forward to it. Mary Mayhem, also known as Voluptuous Jeremy, is going to be on the next Council of Jeremy, so look forward to that. And also, one more reminder before you go ahead once again and hop on to Thomas Gilkey's 30th birthday live stream. Some of us are going to be there. I think we all might. But anyways, thank you all so much for liking, subscribing. And if you didn't like this, feel free again to hit the dislike button. My feelings will not be hurt. Anyways, thank you guys so much. And as always, I am sorry. Oh shit, I almost did it again.
We're still live.
Why are we still live? Oh wait, I almost hung up. Oh well. I'm very